In a quaint little village, far removed from the bustling cities of the world, lived a young troubadour with dreams as lofty as the sky above him. His name was Leo, a boy with a mop of unruly hair and a heart full of songs. Every morning, he would climb onto the roof of his modest home, guitar in hand, and serenade the sunrise. His voice carried over the fields, bouncing off the trees, and even rousing a few drowsy chickens from their morning slumber. "Sing to the tulips," his mother would shout from below, hands on her hips, her apron dusted with flour from baking bread. "They need your melodies as much as the birds do." But Leo often wondered whether the tulips really appreciated his serenades, given their complete lack of reaction. No applause, no whistles, just silence. They were a tough crowd. Leo's life was idyllic yet uneventful. His dreams of grandeur seemed as far away as the stars he sang about, which was a point of contention between him and his mother. Whenever he expressed his longing to travel to the city and share his music with the world, she would scoff. "And what will you do there? Sing to the pigeons." She believed he should stick to their quiet village, where the only excitement came from the annual pie-eating contest and the occasional cow straying onto the main road. But one fateful day, as Leo strummed a particularly heartfelt tune, tragedy struck. His mother, while taking her fresh-baked goods to the market, slipped on a patch of ice and fell. Heartbroken, Leo watched as the village gathered to support him in his grief. In that moment, he realized he needed to break free from the village's clutches and chase his dreams, both for himself and to honor his mother's memory. With a small backpack filled with essentials, a few pieces of bread, a spare pair of socks, and his trusty guitar, Leo set off toward the city. As he walked, he rehearsed his songs in his head, dreaming of performing on grand stages in front of roaring crowds. The journey was long, filled with adventures both strange and amusing. He encountered a goat that seemed intent on eating his backpack, a group of travelers who insisted on singing their own songs over his, and even a wise old man who offered unsolicited advice about love and music. Upon arriving in the city, Leo was met with a sight that took his breath away. Towering buildings, bustling streets, and a cacophony of sounds that made his village seem like a quiet library in comparison. Eager to make his mark, he ventured into the heart of the city, guitar slung over his shoulder. But instead of the warm reception he had anticipated, he found himself lost in a sea of people, each too preoccupied with their own lives to notice a budding troubadour. As he wandered the streets, Leo stumbled upon a group of ragtag children playing in an alleyway. They were dirty, wild-haired, and seemingly full of mischief. Their laughter echoed off the brick walls, and Leo couldn't help but smile. "Maybe they'll appreciate my music," he thought. So, he approached them with a grin, eager to share his songs. "Who are you?" The leader of the group, a girl with untamed curls and a spark in her eye, asked suspiciously. "I'm Leo, a troubadour. I've come to share my music with the world," he declared dramatically, striking a pose like he was on stage. The children exchanged skeptical glances before bursting into giggles. "You think you can just waltz in here and sing for us? What do you have to offer?" Leo, unfazed by their teasing, pulled out his guitar and began to play. His fingers danced across the strings, and soon the alley was filled with the sound of his music. To his surprise, the children stopped their laughter, mesmerized by his melody. As the last note lingered in the air, he looked up to find them applauding, their faces lit with delight. Okay, you're not half bad, the girl admitted, a playful smirk on her lips. But if you want to hang with us, you'll have to earn your keep. How about helping us with a little distraction? Leo raised an eyebrow. What kind of distraction? We're planning a heist, she whispered, as if sharing a grand secret. The bakery across the street has the best pastries in the city, and we need a diversion so we can snag some. Leo, taken aback but intrigued, thought about it for a moment. He could be a part of something thrilling, something that would finally pull him out of his mundane life. All right, let's do it. So, they devised a plan. Leo would perform in front of the bakery, while the gang snuck inside to grab as many pastries as they could. As Leo strummed his guitar and sang, the townsfolk gathered, charmed by his lively performance. Just as planned, the children crept into the bakery, giggling as they filled their pockets with pastries. However, as fate would have it, the city was under the watchful eye of its king, an overly serious man who prided himself on maintaining order. His daughter, Princess Mia, had grown bored of royal life and had taken to sneaking out to explore the city. On this particular day, she happened to be in the vicinity, drawn in by the enchanting music. When she spotted Leo, she was captivated. His charisma was magnetic, and his voice sang to her soul. Sneaking closer, she joined the crowd, her identity hidden beneath a tattered cloak. She couldn't resist the urge to dance along with the music, forgetting her royal status for a moment. But just as Leo hit a high note, the royal guards appeared, led by the king's right-hand man, a detective with an inflated sense of self-importance, and a magnifying glass he insisted was crucial to his job. "Stop this ruckus!" he shouted, pushing through the crowd. In a frenzy, Leo caught sight of the princess slipping away just as the guards began to disperse the crowd. "Wait, come back," he called, but it was too late. The princess vanished into the throng, and the children, still in the bakery, scrambled to escape with their ill-gotten gains. The next few days were a whirlwind for Leo. The children embraced him as their unofficial leader, thanks to his music and their shared escapades. Yet, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was meant for something more than petty heists and bakery escapades. Determined to find the princess again and prove his worth, Leo set out to perform at the city's grand festival, rumored to be the event of the year. Meanwhile, Princess Mia, having experienced the thrill of the city, was on a mission of her own. She decided to attend the festival, curious to see if she could catch another glimpse of the mysterious troubadour whose music had stirred something within her. But her father, the king, had his own plans. He was not fond of his daughter wandering the streets and made arrangements to keep her under watchful eyes. On the day of the festival, the city transformed into a vibrant tapestry of colors, sounds, and scents. Musicians filled every corner, creating a tapestry of melodies. Leo arrived, his heart racing with excitement and nerves. He knew this was his chance. If he could capture the princess's attention again, perhaps he could win her heart and make his mark. He set up in the central square, and soon a crowd gathered. As he played, he spotted the princess among the onlookers, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. He poured his heart into the performance, weaving tales of adventure and dreams, all while stealing glances at the princess, who clapped and danced along. But just as things were going splendidly, the king's detective appeared, scouring the crowd for his wayward daughter. Spotting her dancing freely, he stormed in like a bull in a china shop, sending spectators scrambling in all directions. "Your Highness, what are you doing?" he bellowed, drawing attention to himself like a poorly written villain. In a panic, Leo tried to hold the crowd's attention with an even more energetic song, strumming faster and louder. The princess, refusing to let her fun be spoiled, took Leo's hand and pulled him along as they weaved through the throngs of festival goers. The detective followed closely behind, but they danced just out of his reach, laughter spilling from their lips. In their escape, they stumbled upon the gang of children who had been watching the performance from a distance. "There you are. We thought you ditched us for the royal life," one of them teased. With the detective hot on their heels, Leo and the princess teamed up with the gang to create the ultimate distraction. The children began to juggle pastries while Leo strummed a catchy tune, prompting the crowd to gather around in delight. With every strum of his guitar and every laugh shared, the detective grew more flustered, unable to keep up with the chaos. Finally, with one final flourish, Leo took the princess's hand and led her in an impromptu dance. And the detective was left spinning in confusion, wondering how he ended up at the center of a pastry juggling act instead of apprehending the runaway princess. After what felt like a whirlwind of excitement, the crowd erupted into cheers, celebrating their daring escape from the clutches of the law. The princess, breathless and giggling, turned to Leo. "You're quite the troubadour. How did you manage to make a heist sound so fun?" With a wink, Leo replied, "Sometimes it's all about the music. It brings out the best in people. And a bit of mischief never hurts." The festival ended on a high note, and as the sun dipped below the horizon, Leo found himself at a crossroads. The king was furious, but his daughter, enchanted by the day's events, stood beside him. "Father, Leo has shown me that life can be fun, adventurous, and full of music. Can we please let him stay?" In an unexpected twist, the king, despite his stern exterior, found himself charmed by Leo's spirit and enthusiasm. After much deliberation and a rather humorous negotiation involving the detective, the king decided to give Leo a chance. "Fine, you can stay and entertain the kingdom, but you must promise to behave." With a playful salute, Leo agreed, thrilled at the opportunity. From that day on, he became the royal troubadour, singing at festivals, royal events, and even private parties. He brought life to the court, turning mundane gatherings into joyous celebrations with his music and charm. As time went on, Leo and Princess Mia grew closer, sharing laughter and dreams, exploring the city together, and even concocting a few more escapades with the children. They learned that adventure wasn't just about daring heists, but about finding joy in the little things, like sharing a slice of pastry or dancing in the moonlight. And so, the troubadour who once sang to tulips found his true audience. He had a kingdom at his feet, a princess by his side, and a heart full of songs ready to be shared with the world.